Hey everyone, before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. It all started as a joke, or at least that's what I told myself. We were sitting around the dinner table with friends, laughter echoing through the room. Wine glasses half empty, plates still warm. I had no idea one careless line from me would change everything that night. And the way I looked at my husband forever. James and I had been married for 9 years. We built what looked like a perfect life, a nice home, steady jobs, summer vacations, and smiles that looked good in pictures. But behind all that, we become strangers living under the same roof. He hid behind his work, and I hid my loneliness behind sarcasm. That night, our friends Brian and Sophia had us over for dinner. The talk drifted from work to relationships, and at one point, Sophia joked about her husband forgetting their anniversary. Everyone laughed, and somehow the spotlight landed on me. "Careful, Sophia," I said, swirling my wine. "If James forgets ours next year, I might just get myself a new husband." The table burst out laughing. It was supposed to be harmless fun, a quick joke to keep the mood light. But when I glanced at James, he wasn't laughing. He just sat there, jaw tight, eyes cold. Our eyes met for a second, and something heavy passed between us. The laughter faded into an uncomfortable silence as he quietly set his fork down and leaned back in his chair. "You should," he said flatly. "Maybe then you'd finally realize it's not the husband that's the problem." The air froze. Sophia's hand stopped halfway to her glass. Brian looked between us, unsure whether to laugh or stay quiet. My heart started pounding, and my throat went dry. "What's that supposed to mean?" I asked with a nervous little laugh. James didn't flinch. "It means you've spent years blaming me for everything wrong in your life. Maybe a new husband won't fix what's actually broken." You could have heard a pin drop. My face burned, and suddenly, the joke didn't feel funny anymore. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't have to. The calm in his tone cut deeper than yelling ever could. Everyone started fidgeting, pretending to check their phones or take another bite, desperate to escape the tension. I wanted to say something, anything, but for once, I didn't know what to say. It felt like our entire marriage had just unraveled in front of everyone. The car ride home was painfully silent. Streetlights flashed across James' face as he drove, calm but distant to come. I stared out the window, replaying everything in my head, wishing I could take it back. When we pulled into the driveway, he got out without a word, unlocked the door, and went straight to the living room. I followed quietly, my heart pounding, unsure whether to apologize or defend myself. He poured himself a drink, sat on the couch, elbows on his knees, eyes fixed on the floor. "You think it's funny, don't you?" he said without looking up. Turning our marriage into a joke for everyone else, my throat tightened. "It was just a joke, James, you're overreacting." He let out a short, bitter laugh. "Overreacting? You embarrass me in front of our friends, Emily. Do you even realize how often you do that? How often you make me the punchline?" His voice wasn't angry, it was tired. And somehow, that hurt even more. "I didn't mean it like that," I said softly. "You've been so distant lately. I don't know how to reach you anymore. Sometimes humor feels like the only way to get your attention." He finally looked up. His eyes dark and full of something I hadn't seen in years, pure exhaustion. "You don't try to reach me, Emily. You try to hurt me." Every sarcastic comment, every jab in front of people, it's like you need to make me small just so you can feel big. His words hit me hard because, deep down, I knew there was truth in them. He stood and walked toward the hallway. "You don't need a new husband, Emily," he said quietly. "You need a mirror," and just like that, he disappeared into the bedroom, leaving me in the living room shaking. His words crushed me, not because they were cruel, but because they were true. Somewhere between the missed date nights, long work hours, and endless little arguments, I had stopped being his partner and started being his critic. I sank onto the couch, staring at the empty glass he left behind, wondering when love had turned into competition. I thought about the early days, the late-night talks, the easy laughter, how he used to look at me like I was his whole world. I couldn't even remember the last time I saw that look. The next morning, the house felt different, quiet, but not in a peaceful way. James had already left for work. His coffee mug was rinsed, his jacket gone, his side of the bed perfectly made. I sat there staring at the empty space he left, hearing his words echo in my mind. "You need a mirror." They haunted me all day. I replayed every moment I'd ever joked at his expense, at dinners, at parties, even small moments at home. It was true. I'd turned my resentment into entertainment. I'd mistaken sarcasm for communication and cruelty for confidence. Maybe I was trying to prove I didn't care that he pulled away. But the truth was, I cared too much. That evening, I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. I texted, "Can we talk tonight?" No reply. Hours later, I heard the front door unlock. He didn't even look at me when he came in. "Dinner's in the fridge," I said softly. "I made your favorite." "Thanks." he muttered, setting his keys on the counter. I could feel the wall between us thick, solid, impossible to break through. I took a deep breath and finally said what I should have said that night. James, I'm sorry for what I said. For all the jokes. For making you feel small when I should have made you feel loved. He stood there for a moment before answering. It's not just about last night, Emily. It's about all the nights before that. You used to lift me up. Now it feels like you're always trying to knock me down. Tears stung my eyes. I know, I whispered. And I hate that I became that person. I just felt invisible, James, like no matter what I said or did, you were somewhere else. So I tried to make you notice me even if it meant hurting you. He finally looked at me, really looked. The anger in his eyes was gone, replaced by something heavier, sadness. We both stopped seeing each other, he said quietly. You made jokes. I made distance. And we called it love. We stood there, two broken people holding the pieces of what used to be whole. I don't know if we can fix this, I admitted. He sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. Maybe not, but we can stop treating each other like enemies. For the first time in a long while, we sat down and talked, not as husband and wife trying to win, but as two people just trying to understand. And in that fragile silence, I realized something. Sometimes the harshest words are the ones that finally make you listen.